Hello guys and welcome. So this is going to be two videos in one. The first part is going to be me criticizing League of Legends esports and industry in general, and second part is going to be a bit of a guide, how to play League of Legends, how to play top lane, right? So let's go. Now I actually made more than 30-minute video already, but then I realized my microphone wasn't working. It was actually a pretty good rant, okay, but so here we have to go again. Now, after a long time, I was luring in League of Legends Reddit, right? And what is very interesting about this Reddit, even after like 15 years, this place still has more than 2000 concurrent online users. And if we compare it to Smite Reddit, they only have like 100. So, what's going on, okay? Now, what really pisses me off is how they franchise League of Legends esports. Do you guys remember 10 years ago when we had Twisted Treeline, we had Domination, some of the best fan favorite maps? But no, they removed them all from the game because they still have this outdated MOBA mentality that only Dota can be competitive, which was never really the case, and anybody that understands MOBA genre, multiplayer online battle arena, or anybody that played World of Warcraft custom maps or Call of Duty 2 custom maps 10 years ago knows that's not the case. The true origins of MOBA genre are countless of community-made maps, fight of characters on millions and millions of community fan-made maps. That's the true origins of the whole genre. So the fact that we only have one map after 20 years, it's actually it really shows these guys have no idea what are they doing. In fact, they don't even understand their own genre, right? Now, here is a quick guide for Garen, okay? I have been playing a lot of Garen lately, and I really enjoyed it. People say that top lane doesn't really have enough pressure and presence in the game. But man, you can easily do that. You can help your mid laner, you can rotate, you can clear, push the wave under their tower so they lose gold, right? This game is designed around resources, fighting for resources. Meanwhile, other game modes like Arena have totally different game design, right? They are not designed around snowballing, but more about, counter building, ability to come back, right? Team fights, calls, motivation, so on and so on. Right? Let's talk about League of Legends, right? I have been on League of Legends on Reddit on my phone, and I was actually really surprised. This place still has more than 2,000 concurrent online users. If you compare it to Smite, we don't even have 100 concurrent users. And I know that's because, Smite Reddit was very mismanaged for years, and it probably still is to this day. Yeah, right, they remove content that promotes discussion like memes, they literally ban people that talk about any other game modes besides Conquest Dota, because thanks to League of Legends and Wolf and Riot, MOBA gaming industry has become one of the most divided communities ever, right? It's not just because of capitalism, it's not just how easy it is to manipulate media, it's also because how mismanaged esports are. And if you go on League of Legends Reddit, you see typical examples. Like for example, 100 Thieves, some Call of Duty esports organization is gonna play at World Champions in fucking league, right? It's almost like even have no idea how to lead esports. The only reason why League of Legends esports is still popular is because people think it's real, because most people are easy to manipulate, right? But how can you expect anybody to take your esports seriously when you literally handpick all your players, when you haven't organized any real rankings or tournaments in years, when Faker play against same 10 people for 7 years in a row and people think it's a real esport? What? Nobody cares about this hand-picked pros anymore, guys. Nobody. You're just wasting money on these guys so they can literally getting paid to gatekeep any real passionate and any real competition, any real passionate players. Is this how you wanna have your League of Legends to be? And that's not even one of the 10 problems this game has today. The UI is more outdated than I have ever seen. There is literally zero progression in this game. The only thing you unlock is a new champion. right? There is no achievements, there is no rewards, there is no rank leaderboard rewards. You only have one game mode. In MOBA, multiplayer online battle arena, fight of characters, the whole point of MOBA genre, one of the biggest genre of games of the gaming industry, is countless, no, millions of community made maps. Not just some mere Dota. Dota was just one of millions of community made maps. So why are we removing Twisted Tree Line? Why are we removing Domination? Why are they removing Arena? Why are they removing Siege, Clash from Smite? It's all because of this outdated MOBA mentality that only Dota can be competitive, which was never really the case. Not only if you wanna win, you wanna win. You learn and you win, you adopt. Right? It's almost like this. This is what happens when you let capitalism guys lead your gaming industry. Right? You have a bunch of hand-picked pros who are literally getting paid to gatekeep any real competition, which means only 5% of your player base actually has a chance to get anything out of esports. And how easy it is to manipulate media. This is how they made their careers. They call themselves champions, so they get 3 times more followers on social media. They use countless of promotional accounts on social media to manipulate their viewers and algorithm. And then they expect us to take them seriously. Right, okay. I actually really wanted to make like a guide for, you know, top lane, for my Garen. I have been loving playing Garen, and a lot of this, you know, I have been playing League of Legends lately, and it's actually quite satisfying. But at the same time, we only have one map. You have no voice chat. You literally getting banned if you go on VC and don't accept the coup, right? You can't even fucking surrender in Dota 2. In a game mode that is literally designed around snowballing. But what is really disappointing is, after 20 years, you realize how mismanaged esports are, right? How mismanaged content creation is. League of Legends, it's literally the same game it was 20 years ago, besides less content. They removed Twisted Tree Line, they removed Domination, they made joke out of esports, right? And then they expect us not to notice, right? It's almost like they think that these capitalism guys in suits have more passion for these things than us, right? How delusional you can be. And what really pisses me off is that then I see posts like this on League of Legends Reddit, where esports organizations like 100 Thieves are fighting for spots in the World Cup, right? A Call of Duty esports team that never played League of Legends seriously is now gonna be top 5 in fucking league, right? This is what everything we do makes it a joke. Why would anybody take your esports seriously when we know you literally handpick same 10 guys 10 years in a row, you organize no real tournaments for EU or North America with some basic skin or gem rewards, what every competitive player wants. And if you do things right, if you just organize these tournaments, you will get viewership and sponsorship naturally. Are these guys really so clueless? I mean, look at UFC, right? Biggest organizations in the world, T1, biggest esports, Korean esports in the world, they're all losing millions each year. Because of the shit we are talking in this video. Because how mismanaged it is. Because... And I also don't understand why people say Faker is the best player in League of Legends. When was the last time he won any actual tournaments or rankings? He literally got handpicked 7 years in a row. Nobody would have problems with pro players or these guys if they would actually earn it and play for it. But when they literally get paid to gatekeep any passionate players to ever have a chance, then you know how broken it is. And then on top of that, you can go on Twitch, you can go on YouTube. It's always guys who either got handpicked for pro leagues, or guys who use promotional bots or view botting that appear at the top. It's fact. You can go on YouTube, you can go on Smite, you can go Twitch. Alright? The problem with the whole League of Legends esport, just like the same reason why Smite esports died, is because not only are they ignoring up to 50 to 70% of their player base when it comes to game modes, regions and so on, but also because they organize no real tournaments, no real rankings. And what's the point of sports if you don't earn it, if you don't play for it? The whole point of esports is to see who's the best, right? That's why we play such games. That's why you get competitive spirit and such. But then these guys come. They you want to become a provisional guest team in League of Legends. I guess they paid them enough, right? I guess they paid somebody right enough, right? That's the same reason why Valve hasn't seen innovation. They have Steam. Even if they make the most shitty, outdated games ever and make no money, they will still make money, right? Okay guys, now let's also talk about Garen. In my opinion, Garen is really fun. And Garen is a typical beginner champion, right? Everything he does it well. You can out-sustain people, you can push, you have a good pressure, you have one shot, right? And, you know, most people, I think, especially solo learners, they do mistake and they never rotate. Every time you push your wave under enemy tower so they lose gold, this is the best time to rotate, right? Or you have to learn how to play more defensively. Like, there is nothing wrong with standing under the tower, right? And after all, Dota is a 20-year-old game mode map that always had issues. In my opinion, Dota was never made for esports. In my opinion, Arena can be way more watchable, competitive than Dota, you know. It's almost like, I played Dota 20 years ago, alright, and it was new, it was fun, but it was just a one map. Right, the true origins of the whole genre are millions of community-made maps. So the fact that they removed Twisted Tree Line, Domination just shows you how clueless these guys are, right? So stop supporting these dogshit capitalism companies. Let them lose money because that's the only way how they're gonna change. That's the reality, I'm sorry. Also, one of the most important things in this game is counter building, right? If you are laning against physical opponent, or then you buy armor. If you're laning against magical opponent, you buy magical resistance, right? I think this is one of the biggest problem. People always rely on snowballing and number carry so much. They barely know how to counter build. Even at the World Champions, you barely see any counter building a lot of the time. You can check your Smite World Championship. It's because Dota Conquest was always designed around number advantage. It was basically a children game mode where you got ahead and then it doesn't even matter what you do. Right? It's a game mode design that somebody's always gonna be ahead, you know. Guy who plays well, guy who abuses me and my items or gods. But it's not just that, it's like the internal design, it makes it so like, it's kinda lame, honestly. I mean, it would be so lame if they wouldn't ignore everybody else and force everybody into the shitty outdated game mode and act like they understand anything or how passionate we are. Meanwhile, they have been literally banning and ignoring 70% of their player base. You guys have no idea how frustrating it is when you love something so much and you have no chance to prove it. Right? There are people who spend 10 years of their lives, of their young livelihood in these games, in content creation, but then you realize you can get nothing out of it because these platforms and games are now designed around capitalism where only 10% of guys can make anything out of it. That's why eventually all these esports are dying, because ecosystem that's based on capitalism has no longevity. No, eventually people realize, oh, it's just waste of time, right? And this basically capitalism is based on stupidity, in illusion. How long can we keep up the illusion? But this is just short term, right? And you're gonna just lose players. I mean, people got nostalgic and they come back, play few games, okay? But you have no real rankings, you have no real tournaments, you only have one map. You're a multi-billion-dollar and you're a dollar company, you couldn't make more than one map. Are you fucking kidding me? And then they always have a good excuse. They always have a good excuse. But the reality is just what they want to make money as for the less amount of effort. Like I said, stop supporting these dogshit companies or the rest, nothing will change. You know what is very interesting about League of Legends? It is almost like they don't understand their own genre of games. MOBA, multiplayer online battle arena, is probably one of the biggest genre of games in gaming industry, right? Gaming industry is one of the biggest, and MOBA is one of the biggest part of it. A lot of popular MOBA studios. You have Smite, you have Wolf, Riot, but these guys haven't seen innovation in 20 years. That's the problem. I mean, after 20 years, they still think that the origins of whole MOBA genre is Dota, aka Conquest, aka Defense of the Asians, but it never was. The true origins of MOBA genre are countless, no, millions of community-made maps. Fight of characters on all different community-made maps. And instead, all they did in the last 20 years was removing Twisted Tree Line, they removed Domination, some of the fan favorite maps in this game. Right? And then they make joke out of a pro scene. They handpick same 10 players every year and expect us to take them seriously. Are these guys for real or what?